In the early 2000s, few celebrity couples captured public attention quite like Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise. Their whirlwind romance quickly became a media sensation, with Cruise's infamous couch-jumping moment on The Oprah Winfrey Show and their lavish Italian wedding fueling intense fascination. However, beneath the glittering surface of their relationship, whispers persisted, especially about Cruise's ties to Scientology. When they suddenly divorced in 2012, the public was left wondering, what really happened? After years of silence, Katie Holmes has finally decided to reveal the truth about their relationship and Scientology's role within it. Let's take a closer look at this saga from the very beginning. Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise became one of the most talked about couples of the early 2000s, with their romance going public in 2005 during a trip to Italy. At just 26, Holmes had recently ended her engagement to actor Chris Klein. Stepping out with Cruise, her childhood crush, she entered a relationship that was nothing short of a fairy tale, or so it seemed. Cruise, 16 years her senior, was already a global superstar. In an interview, Holmes, who had grown up admiring Cruise, confessed, "When I met Tom, I was completely in love." His Tom Cruise. Just 2 days after their initial outing, they made their public debut at the David Di Donatello Awards in Rome. The media quickly coined the term Tomcat, and Holmes was swept into Cruise's glamorous world. Reflecting on her first impression of him, she said, "When I met him, he was so warm, and I thought, wow, you can be a superstar and a human being." Holmes once admitted in Seventeen magazine that she had always dreamed of marrying Cruise, and it seemed as if that dream was finally coming true. Cruise's over-the-top expression of love by jumping on Oprah's couch marked a memorable moment, and Holmes, standing beside him, said, "I'm glad I was a big dreamer." Their romance captivated the public, stealing the spotlight even at events like the premiere of Batman Begins, where the couple's presence overshadowed the film itself. 2 months after they started dating, Cruise proposed to Holmes at the top of the Eiffel Tower, calling it a magnificent day. That evening, Holmes flashed her engagement ring at the War of the Worlds premiere, and their red carpet appearances soon became famous for grand kisses and elaborate poses. To many, they seemed deeply in love, perhaps even a bit too publicly. This high-profile love affair fueled rumors that the relationship was a publicity stunt, especially given that both had major films to promote. But Cruise dismissed the skepticism, saying, "Something magnificent has happened to me, and I'm so happy I can't restrain myself." Even Steven Spielberg, Cruise's director for War of the Worlds, reportedly wasn't pleased with the attention their relationship drew away from the film. Amidst the media frenzy, Holmes's life underwent a significant transformation. She began exploring Scientology, a religion closely tied to Cruise, and spoke positively about her experience with auditing and courses, describing it as really helpful. While her dive into Scientology raised eyebrows, Holmes appeared to be fully committed to the religion. By June 2005, Holmes and Cruise were engaged, and she was soon pregnant with their first child. Their daughter, Sui, was born on April 18, 2006, but not without some unique customs tied to Cruise's beliefs. Holmes reportedly adhered to a silent birth, a Scientology practice to avoid words and sounds during delivery, which followers believed could affect the mother and baby. Despite this unusual protocol, Holmes delivered a healthy baby girl, and a few months later, the couple introduced Sui to the world on the cover of Vanity Fair. Holmes expressed the joy of holding her daughter, describing it as indescribable. Their marriage, however, was shadowed by controversy, much of which revolved around Cruise's deep connection to Scientology. Holmes, who had been raised Catholic, became increasingly involved with the Church of Scientology, leading to speculation about how much influence the religion had over her life. Holmes's parents, devout Catholics, were reportedly uncomfortable with their daughter's newfound beliefs, feeling that Scientology pulled her away from her roots. Rumors surfaced that they might not attend the couple's 2006 wedding in Italy due to these reservations, yet they eventually showed up at the rehearsal dinner. Holmes's father, Marty, softened his stance during his speech, acknowledging, "It didn't take much time before I realized this Tom guy was a special guy," expressing appreciation for Cruise's devotion to his daughter. However, the wedding itself was an unconventional affair. Held at Odescalchi Castle, it adhered to Scientology traditions, with Cruise promising Holmes items like clothes, food, tender happiness, and frills, a pan, a comb, a cat, an unusual pledge of support. Holmes wore custom Giorgio Armani gowns, and the guest list included stars like Victoria and David Beckham, Jennifer Lopez, and Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. While the event was a magical spectacle, guests sensed that something felt slightly amiss. The image of a perfect marriage soon gave way to rumors of control and cracks in their seemingly idyllic life. Some reports suggested that Cruise exerted significant influence over Holmes, even guiding her career choices to ensure they aligned with Scientology values. Observers noted that Holmes took on fewer film roles during her marriage, with her acting career seemingly sidelined. Although both Holmes and Cruise denied claims of control, the shift in her public life was noticeable. Another controversial aspect of their union was the prenuptial agreement, rumored to be extensive due to Cruise's ties with Scientology. It was Holmes's father, a lawyer, who drafted the prenup, allegedly securing $50 million for Holmes and Sui. Other sources claimed that instead of a lump sum, Holmes would receive $400,000 a year in child support, along with coverage of all Sui's expenses. Speculation arose that Katie Holmes's father had strategically planned her prenuptial agreement, perhaps anticipating the marriage might not endure. The terms were so favorable for Holmes that they would allow her an easy exit without a protracted legal battle, ensuring her daughter Sui's welfare. If this was true, it was a clever maneuver, guaranteeing Holmes an income akin to a presidential salary until Sui turned 18. Initially, Holmes spoke warmly about her marriage, calling it really fun, in a 2010 interview with Marie Claire, mentioning that she wasn't in a hurry to expand their family. However, as the honeymoon phase wore off, so did the romance. Reports grew louder about Tom Cruise's influence over her life and career. By 2012, Holmes made a decisive move that would shock the world: the end of her marriage to Tom Cruise. While the couple appeared to have a glamorous life together, cracks began to emerge after 6 years of marriage, leading to their surprising divorce announcement in 2012. This was no typical Hollywood breakup. It was described as a carefully planned escape that reportedly left Cruise blindsided. Holmes filed for divorce unexpectedly, catching Cruise off guard just days before his 50th birthday. Reflecting on the experience, Cruise admitted in an interview, "I didn't expect it," a statement that revealed the depth of his surprise. Holmes, on the other hand, was focused on one thing: protecting Sui. Her attorney emphasized that Holmes's primary concern remained, as always, her daughter's well-being. As Cruise coped with the fallout, his 2 older children from a previous marriage stayed by his side. Despite both Cruise and Holmes publicly asking for privacy, the underlying drama was impossible to ignore. Holmes was seen in New York shortly after filing, looking noticeably relieved, as if a burden had been lifted from her shoulders. Remarkably, the divorce was finalized in only 11 days, an unusually swift process for such high-profile figures, with Holmes's father, a lawyer, helping to secure terms that ensured a smooth, discreet separation. The abrupt end to their marriage sparked curiosity about the reasons behind it, with many pointing to Scientology. Cruise's high-profile affiliation with the church had always been well known, but Holmes, who was raised Catholic, reportedly became increasingly uncomfortable with Scientology's influence. Rumors suggested Holmes worried about the impact Scientology could have on Sui. In a deposition after their split, Cruise was asked if Holmes had left to protect their daughter from Scientology. Although he initially found the question offensive, he eventually acknowledged that it was one of the assertions. Holmes's request for sole custody of Sui made it clear that she wanted full control over her daughter's upbringing, free from the influence of Cruise's beliefs. Jenna Miscavige-Hill, a former Scientologist and niece of the church's leader, voiced her support for Holmes, expressing her solidarity as a mother. The tension surrounding the divorce was not only about ending a marriage, it was about Holmes fighting for her child's future. Holmes's swift actions, including secret meetings with lawyers and using burner phones, showed just how determined she was to break free. Katie Holmes's decision to end her marriage was more than a simple breakup, it was a calculated escape. Observers noted an uncanny trend: all 3 of Cruise's marriages ended when his wives were 33. While some speculated this pattern had ties to Scientology, Holmes's actions underscored her desire for independence. Her exit was strategic. She consulted with 3 law firms in different states before filing to ensure she was well prepared. The prenuptial agreement was already structured to prevent any lengthy disputes over alimony or custody. Holmes never publicly criticized Cruise or Scientology, leaving nothing for the church to leverage against her. Cruise, while outwardly composed, admitted that his life post-divorce felt like a tragic comedy, hinting at the deep emotional impact of the separation. For Cruise, Scientology was more than a belief system, it shaped his entire lifestyle. His influence on Holmes's career led her to pass up roles that conflicted with the church's values, and there were rumors of his attempts to control various aspects of her life. Once a rising star, Holmes's career had taken a backseat during the marriage, but after the split, she took charge, seeking sole custody of Sui and taking steps to ensure her daughter's upbringing aligned with her own values. Their marriage held secrets most of the public had not been privy to. In her desperation to secure her freedom, Holmes reportedly agreed to unusual terms in the divorce settlement. One clause allegedly barred her from discussing Cruise or Scientology, and remarkably, restricted her from publicly dating for 5 years post-divorce. Additionally, she could not introduce any new partners to Sui during this period. Despite beginning a relationship with Jamie Foxx in 2013, Holmes kept it private, denying their connection even when seen together. It wasn't until years later that they were finally photographed holding hands on a Malibu beach, confirming what many had suspected. These years of secrecy are now in the past, and Holmes can live openly. Her willingness to accept such restrictive terms reveals the lengths she was willing to go to protect herself and her daughter, avoiding a public showdown with Cruise's strong ties to Scientology. Holmes understood the challenges she faced and took deliberate steps to minimize conflict. After her separation, Holmes moved with Sui to New York City, embarking on a new chapter of her life. Friends noticed a change in her demeanor. She seemed more relaxed, open to new experiences, and eager to express herself. Holmes shared in an interview with InStyle, "I feel like I can be more creative and have more time, of my voice." Free from the pressures that accompanied her role as Mrs. Cruise, she focused on her career and devoted time to raising her daughter. With newfound freedom, Holmes embraced the opportunity to explore her passions and reclaim her individuality, paving the way for a future on her own terms. Katie Holmes found herself taking on new projects and growing in confidence in her work. She described this change as a mindset of simply putting herself out there and embracing authenticity. This shift wasn't only professional but also deeply personal. Holmes shared that she felt more at peace, having let go of concerns about others' opinions. She began to make choices on her own terms, selecting projects she felt passionate about and embracing a life led by her own standards. During this time, Holmes also formed a relationship with Jamie Foxx. Despite the 5-year rule in her divorce that restricted public associations, she and Jamie managed to navigate their romance quietly, avoiding the public eye as much as possible. Holmes also chose not to introduce Foxx to her daughter, Sui, out of respect for her divorce arrangements. This relationship represented a significant step for Katie, symbolizing her emergence from the shadows of her past. By 2014, she expressed newfound fearlessness and a loosening of self-imposed rules, saying she no longer took herself too seriously. Her fresh perspective wasn't just about finding love again, it was about reclaiming her identity. As she moved forward, Katie's joy in life became apparent, whether she was seen smiling on New York streets or diving into creative pursuits, proving to the world that she was more than just Tom Cruise's ex-wife. Through resilience, she faced her challenges head-on, emerging stronger and ready for the future. In contrast, Tom Cruise, known for his blockbuster films and daring stunts, has more complicated relationships with his children. He has 3 children, Connor and Isabella, whom he adopted with ex-wife Nicole Kidman, and Sui, his daughter with Katie Holmes. Each bond is unique, with some connections appearing stronger than others. Connor and Isabella, also known as Bella, have mostly stayed out of the public eye, choosing quieter lives. Bella, an artist, occasionally shares her work on social media, but otherwise keeps a low profile and remains involved in Scientology, which Cruise is also famously dedicated to. When Bella married Max Parker in London, neither Cruise nor Kidman attended, fueling speculation about the family dynamics. Bella later clarified that she maintains contact with her parents, stating that they remain close despite public rumors. Meanwhile, Connor, born in 1995, maintains a similarly private life, dabbling in acting and working as a DJ. He has rarely spoken publicly about his relationship with his parents but was seen with Cruise in 2019, sharing a helicopter ride in London, a bonding moment between father and son. However, the situation appears different with Sui, Cruise's daughter with Katie Holmes. Holmes, who has largely remained silent about her marriage to Cruise, has gradually revealed glimpses of her experiences, hinting at a world of secrecy and control during that time. Recently, Sui celebrated significant milestones, such as graduating from high school and preparing to attend Carnegie Mellon University. The absence of her father, Tom Cruise, was noticeable. Reports suggest that the last time Cruise and Sui were seen publicly together was in 2012, and some sources indicate that Cruise hopes to reconnect with his daughter in the future, though they currently appear to be living separate lives. Holmes' decision to distance herself from Cruise after their split reportedly involved complex, secretive steps, including cutting off contact with former friends and changing her phone number and email to protect herself and Sui from the environment associated with Scientology. Holmes has hinted at the intensity of those years, describing them as challenging while choosing not to divulge too much about the experience. Living in New York has allowed her to distance herself and Sui from the challenges of her past, enabling them to embrace new, more fulfilling chapters. For Holmes, Sui's well-being has always been a priority, with some reports suggesting her primary motivation for leaving Cruise was to protect her daughter from the influence of Scientology. Jenna Miscavige-Hill, the niece of Scientology's leader David Miscavige, even voiced support for Holmes, empathizing with her decision to shield Sui. Jenna, who left Scientology, has openly shared her own difficult childhood experiences within the organization. Katie, by relocating to New York City and focusing on raising Sui away from Hollywood's spotlight, has reportedly given her daughter a life that contrasts sharply with her previous world. There are indications that Holmes may have accepted less financial support from Cruise in exchange for more control over Sui's upbringing, ensuring her daughter could have a sense of normalcy outside the influence of Scientology. Although Holmes has refrained from publicly discussing her decisions, her actions reflect her commitment to Sui's independence and well-being. After their high-profile split, both Holmes and Cruise have moved on to new relationships. For Cruise, love seemed to spark with British actress Hayley Atwell while filming Mission Impossible 7 *, and the couple were often seen together. Although their relationship eventually ended in 2022, they appeared happy during their time together. In Holmes' life, she enjoyed a quiet romance with Jamie Foxx, which lasted for several years, followed by a brief relationship with chef Emilio Vitolo, Jr. More recently, she has been linked to musician Bobby Wootton III, who is 10 years her junior. They have shared joyful moments around New York, signaling a new, carefree chapter in Holmes' life. While Holmes and Cruise's past remains a topic of public fascination, they both seem focused on their respective futures, each finding fulfillment in new relationships. Katie Holmes' journey, though still shrouded in some mystery, reveals a portrait of resilience and determination, particularly in her commitment to raising Sui in a life free from unwanted influences. Whether motivated by legal agreements or personal convictions, Holmes' choice to shield her daughter speaks volumes about her priorities. Although we may never know the full details of her experiences, her story is a testament to a mother's desire to provide a nurturing and protected environment for her child, emphasizing love, normalcy, and freedom from the challenges she once faced.